Thursday night then, we are back. It's me, Reidy, with another episode of Beat the First Man for you. Coming up on tonight's show, we've got the boys from Silver Haar on Zooming In. Look out for that one. It's a belter. Listen to what striker they leave out of their five-a-side team. We've got another brilliant How Old for you to try and guess, and loads more of your usual fun and games. So let's get the fun and games started, shall we? Roll the titles. So yes, episode 67 of our little show, and look at this. We've got all high budget. Yes, big shout out to Jamie at We Are Retail for sorting that out for me. If you are new to the show, thanks once again for tuning in. Do appreciate it. If you're new to the BTFM bus, welcome on board. Please make sure you click subscribe down below. Don't forget to ring the little bell, because then you'll never miss another episode. And get involved as well, people. As I always say, please drop us your likes, because we like them. Leave your comments down below. Absolutely anything about the show. I'll reply to every single message anybody ever leaves, except the porn links. Please stop leaving those. And I realise they're all bot accounts. They're not actual people. Anyway, let's get on to everybody's favourite part of the show now then. No, it's not the end. It's How Old. Time where we guess another old footballer, and all you have to do is guess the age when that photo of them was taken. This week, where else but our favourite country for How Old footballers, sunny Scotland, and a man who started his career with the hometown club of Falkirk, where he made 185 appearances, scoring 27 goals. This earned him a move to Aberdeen, but it didn't quite work out for there, and he decided dark blue was really his colour, because he made the switch to Falkirk. Falkirk, he made the switch to Dundee. He was at Falkirk, made the switch to Dundee, which is where this photo was taken. Made a further 106 appearances at Dundee. He then decided that it was a bit cold in Dundee, and he went to South Melbourne to play in Australia. It's a little bit of a change. Came back, finished his career with Stirling Albion. So a bit of a stalwart of the Scottish leagues, it's fair to say. Something to tell the grandkids about, though, is coming up right now. He can tell people he was on How Old. So when this photo of Jim Shearer was taken, how old was he? Answer to be revealed, as always, later on in the show. So, State Gabriel boys, as you know, been a tough old season, but we're bottom of the league, 4 points. No game last weekend, so no defeat on the positive side. Now, Sidmouth lost one of their games in hand, so still level on points. The gap is just 3 goals. Can we get off the bottom this weekend? Well, the Stokey boys are back in action at home this weekend. They entertain Elberton Villa, a side who are 15th in the table. I can sense a win. Come on, you Stokey boys! Come on! Road to Wembley. Right, so FA Cup road to Wembley. Last week we had Roberto Petruccio on, the Walsall fan, you may remember. We talked about, could we lift the Beat the First Man FA Cup curse? Could they do it? Could they be the first ones to lift the curse? Could they shite? No, they lost, didn't they? They lost 2-1 to Swindon. After everything we said, they lost 2-1 to Swindon. So now, rather brilliantly, Swindon Town are our team in the Beat the First Man FA Cup. Now, as a boy who lived in Oxford for an awful long time of his life, this makes it quite interesting. So we awaited the third round draw with bated breath at the weekend. So here they go, fully expecting them to draw Leeds. But they didn't. They drew Manchester City. I am willing to put my neck on the line here and say, I don't think the FA Cup curse is being lifted next round either. But we are looking for Swindon fans. Come on, I've put the feeders out to a couple so far. So any Swindon fans who fancy getting involved and coming on the show before their FA Cup third round tie with Man City, drop me a line. You could be part of Beat the First Man. It has been a busy old week on the road to Wembley trail. Marine played their game at Bradford Park Avenue in the FA Trophy, but sadly went out on penalties. They got through on penalties in the last round, out on penalties this round. So Bradford Park Avenue are our new FA Trophy team. That's who we're following. They are up against Halifax Town in the next round, so we'll keep an eye on that one. This weekend is FA Vars time. You may remember we now support royalty. Bowing and all that malark, whatever you do for royal courtesy, or I don't know. Not really interested. So Royal Wootton Bassett Town, they're our team. So on Saturday, they are at home to Hamworthy United, looking to clinch a place in the next round. So it's been a breathtaking week on Road to Wembley, it's fair to say. No matter how much activity goes on with Road to Wembley, there is always one thing. Wembley, Wembley, we'll beat the first man on the road to Wembley. I'm loving that. So there we go. So now, as you know, we didn't do it last week. DadVLad Fantasy Football. You'll be pleased to know the banter this week is back. So let's head on over. Here's DadVLad Fantasy Football. So DadVLad Fantasy Football, here we go. You missed us last week, didn't they, Kian?
Yeah, they're ecstatic that we're back.
Yeah, I bet there was tears up and down the country that we weren't on it. Mind you don't fall over. So so we took a break last week because it was a midweek set of fixtures, so it was just going to be too hard to do. The bad news for the watching public is there's another set of midweek fixtures next week, which probably means there'll be another week without us. So they better make the most of us this week.
I actually didn't know that, so thank you for reminding me.
There you go. So let's have a quick look at where we are, because obviously it's been 2 weeks since we last did this. So the overall score now, you are on 802 and I am on 768. So there's 34 points in it. I did get it back to 15 points, but you done me last week big time. I had what's commonly known as a shit week.
I don't know if I did great or not. I did have a look. It was very meh.
I got 31 points last week, which I think is my worst, and you got 46.
And then I had the one in midweek as well, and Salah got me 30.
Yeah, so you smashed me last week. So, but it's a new week, and although I have to say I had Aaron Ramsdale sitting on a clean sheet with 10 minutes to go last night until he decided to throw 2 in the last 10 minutes, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, so let's look at this week then. We'll just go straight to it. Let's go with our team. So in goal, I have now got my new goalkeeper, who since we last spoke, I've got Aaron Ramsdale. He's in goal. They're at home to and no way they're letting any goals in.
I've got Mendy because I just don't think we'll score.
Have you seen him play in the last couple of weeks?
I've also seen us play in the last couple of weeks.
Had his back.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I'm not very confident.
No, okay, fair enough. So let's go on to the defence then. So I've still got a back four. No new names. These are all out. So I've got Diaz of Man City. We've got Wolves at home. Dina of Everton are away at Palace. Reece James, obviously at home to Leeds. And Livramento, who's away at Arsenal.
I've got Diaz is in there still. Alexander-Arnold still. James and White. They're all still in there.
Fair enough. So we've got.
I can't tell you who they're playing against because I didn't write it down.
No, because just show everyone your fantasy football app, Kian.
There you go. That's this week's.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
I didn't know it was my laptop had no charge. So
that should be a 3-point deduction just for that alone.
We're going on the paper today.
Yeah. Right. So midfield, my 4 in midfield. I've got one new name in here that I dropped. So I kicked out Foden, who then obviously came in with an assist last week, naturally. So I have now got Salah, Diogo Jota, Wilfred Zaha, and Rafinha, because I've left Basuma out as well. I brought Zaha back in this week.
I'm not sure if this is a new name. I don't know if I mentioned him last time I was on or if I did it afterwards. But I got Conor Gallagher now.
I can't remember whether you did that afterwards.
I feel like that was afterwards. I think his first game was against us.
Yeah.
So I've got Gallagher, Foden, Salah and Rafinha.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I have captain Salah this week as well.
So have I.
Because they got Villa at home. And I can't see him not scoring against Villa.
No, as much as they'll build it up to be a really hard game because of who's the manager.
Yeah, it'll be a 3-0 win. Easy.
Yeah.
So up front, I have got a new name up front.
Hello.
I've got Dennis of Watford.
He's been doing quite well, to be fair. He's going under the radar.
Brought him in. I've got Dennis and Vardy up front this week.
Yeah.
Ivan Toney's gone because he's got COVID, so I've sold him and brought in Dennis instead. And I've dropped Sam Maximan because they're away at Leicester. And to be honest, Sam Maximan could be getting sold if he's not careful.
Well, I've got Antonio as always. He's not scored in about 10 weeks, but he's staying in. Right. And I've got St Maximan because I don't think Bamford's going to start. He's on the bench. I bought him in as well.
All right, okay. So my subs, I've got Martinez of Villa. They're away at Liverpool, so he's not starting. Cody of Wolves, they're away at Man City, so he's not starting. Basuma of Brighton, they're at home to Tottenham, and Sam Maximan, they're away at Leicester.
Well, I've got Foster, who injured himself in a charity game.
Yeah, good work, Ben.
He's on the bench.
If you're watching Bench, you're a big YouTube fan.
Romeo he's also out injured.
Yeah.
Mings is just shit, really. He's not injured, he's just shit.
Fair.
And Bamford, who's probably not going to start.
Fair enough. At least you haven't got any players that are on loan to championship clubs now.
I did manage to get rid of him in the end.
That is progress.
I wonder how he's doing at Swansea.
I don't know. I can't even remember his name.
Obafemi. That was it.
Yeah, fair enough. And he's now playing for Swansea.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's not doing very well because I've not heard his name mentioned.
Ah, well, fair enough. So, in the league table, we obviously just went over the points. Let's just say where we are. So, you are 14th in the league. 802. You are 162 points behind the league leader.
I can still make it up.
But you are also 232 ahead of bottom place.
It's all right, not going down. I know who's bottom.
Yeah, you're not getting relegated. And I am 18th in the table. Yeah. And I am also not getting relegated.
I don't think anyone else is.
No, I think that bottom place is well cemented. So, as we said, there's no fantasy football next week because there's a midweek round of fixtures. We will do it secretly. We'll let each other know what we've done transfer-wise. We'll be back in 2 weeks to review fantasy football, DadVLad, by which time I will be in front. Kian, you've chosen another song this week, which is on later on in the show.
I have.
Yeah. What have we got to look forward to this week? Give us a sneak preview.
I mean, the clue is kind of that if they watch last Saturday, then they'll know already.
I'm not being funny. That's not a clue. That's basically telling people what the song is. But
exactly.
We'll let it slide. I'll leave that in.
I can't really give a clue. You know, I can't really give a clue.
You could have said Band-Aid. That'd have been a good clue.
Even, yeah, but then it sounds like it's actual Band-Aid and it's hardly a new song, is it?
Well, no, I suppose. So there we go. That was fantasy. That. You what, sorry? Yeah.
Half the people who film that are dead. So it's not that.
This is a fair point. So that was fantasy football, DadVLad. Kian, we'll see you next time. But for now, it's back to the show. So a difficult week for me then, as you saw, going down 46-31. So the gap is 34 points now, but still an awful long way. A lot of weeks to go yet. I think my transfers this week might just swing things. Still Gary Hamilton leads the way at the top, but just 4 points in it now. Down the bottom, still Trish Barrett. She has closed the gap now to 77 points. Is the Great Escape on? Anyway, I think it's time we did a bit of this. The name game. Yes, the name game is back. So I'll put a bit of a twist on it now because we've kind of run out of players who gave us a good... We had a bit of fun with the name game with players. This is even better. So I now bring to you 5-a-side team names. So there have been some belting 5-a-side team names. I've got literally hundreds and hundreds of these and we'll pull out probably 5 every week. Feel free to use them. Feel free to steal them. No one will ever know. If they don't watch this show, they won't know. Simple. So here we go. Team number 1, Borussia Teeth. I mean, come on. That's genius. Borussia Teeth. Fantastic. In case you don't get it, brush your teeth. Okay, it's pretty straightforward, really. I mean, if you didn't get that, Jesus Christ, got no hope for you. Number 2, Not in Mum's Forest. Now, that's a belter. Not in Mum's Forest, aka Nottingham Forest. Okay, I realise I probably have to explain every single one. Number 3, Bayern Never Losing. Yeah, it's pretty good. We like that one. That's okay. Shouldn't need explaining. Number 4, Inter Milan. Yeah, good one. Number 5, this is my favourite of this week's 5. This is, in fact, we're going to pick a winner each week. This is my winner for this week. Number 5, AC A Little Silhouette of Milan. Beautiful, beautiful 5-a-side team name. Absolutely superb. There we go. So trust me, I've got loads of those. Come back next week. We'll have another 5-a-side team names for you. I am looking forward to seeing these in 5-a-side leagues up and down the country anytime now. Be beautiful. Do it. Do it. So zooming in. We haven't done it for a while, but we're back. Obviously, we had the Mind Aid thing last week, so I've decided we need to get back into the zooming in. So this week, I've got the boys from Silver Haar deciding me to join on set as we talk musical, we talk football. And don't forget, after this, there will be a clip of the action, of the boys, in action. So for now, here's zooming in with Silver Haar. Great. So welcome to another zooming in. And this week, I'm delighted to say we are joined by the boys from Silver Haar. And let me just say, I did double check how you pronounced it before I asked the question. And it's H-A-A-R. All yous watching can go and Google and find out what it means, because I had to ask the question and didn't bother Googling. So, gents, we've got Tom, a Newcastle fan, and Duncan, a Celtic fan. How the devil are we, gents?
Good, thank you. Yep, thank you.
Oh well, I think I'm better than Duncan. He's in a very cold shed right now.
I do. Unfortunately, not in the Alps though. Just in Scotland, which is unfortunate.
It looks a little bit like you're in a sauna, mate.
Yes, actually, it is a sauna. You're right. That's why I'm wearing this jacket. It's so hot in here. Yeah. Yes.
Can we just make it clear, though, for anyone who is worried, Duncan, you're not being held hostage at this moment in time?
Not today, no.
No, okay, that's good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Right, so...
Yeah, I just like... also, I might just check the team that I support there. Yeah, Celtic... Yes, but in recent years, no, not really. It's I'm now. I'd say now I'm a Partick Thistle fan. So
happy days. Even more interesting.
It's the opposite of a glory hunter, is what that is.
That is very, very much so. And I'll quickly scrub out my Celtic questions and replace them with Partick Thistle questions.
Well, good luck with that one.
I've got a list.
I'm happy to try and answer the Celtic questions, though. So
no, I'll go Partick Thistle. Don't you worry. I'll pull one off the top of my head.
Okay.
So there will be people out there who don't know who Silver Haar are, what you're about. So, gents, the sales floor is yours. Tell us all about Silver Haar.
I'll get us started then, Duncan. I mean, so basically, during the first lockdown, when we had absolutely nothing else to do, I was basically sitting in this room, actually, just farting about with guitars and trying to kill some time, and started writing a couple of tunes. And then I think soon after that, I let Duncan hear a couple of them, and he was like, "Oh, they're not too shite." I think that was almost exactly what he said.
That wasn't my actual words. My actual words were, but yeah, they were like, "Oh, well, Tom, they're a little." No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't.
So it's great because now, so basically, we just kind of started remotely trading kind of ideas, because it was all obviously basically over WhatsApp for the first couple of months when we weren't allowed to meet up. And then eventually, when we were allowed to meet up, we went to Duncan's shed and just sat with a laptop and played around with ideas. And over the next few weeks, we kind of came up with an EP of tunes. Duncan, I should say, is a sound engineer by trade, so that came in really handy, and that we could use all of his top-notch equipment to make them sound less like demos and a little bit more professional, as well as his knowledge, and it kind of just grew from there. We kind of got the tunes together and then put the band together in summer, and decided to release the EP, and it's kind of taken us to where we are now. So it's probably not dissimilar to a lot of people who kind of started bands during lockdown, and it's been a bit of a kind of stop-start, journey, I would say.
I think it's certainly from my point of view, when Brogan started sending the tunes over, because obviously Tom is a musician, he can play notes and instruments and stuff, whereas I'm more of a sort of like that sort of shite guy you see in the street trying to batter his way through an Oasis song on an acoustic guitar. You know what I mean? Like, so I would kind of like, let's give this a bash, because I've never really co-written properly, sitting down and actually writing a song from start to finish. It's always, the bands I've been in were always get in a room and just play really loud until we go, yep, keep that. Whereas sitting down and structuring songs was a kind of new thing for me. So doing that with someone that actually sitting down and properly sort of focusing it was quite new for me. And also quite scary, to be fair, as well. And I never thought when we were writing them as well, I don't know, I think Tom might have different ideas, but I think when we were writing them, there was always sort of like joking, sort of like, we'll play this live, eh? Ha 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 ha. Like this is just something to get us through this sort of like time that we're going through. But then it became quite clear fairly quickly that actually that there might be something to go on here, and this is actually both really enjoyed it, and we kind of bounce off. It's quite good how we bounce off each other. Like, just the way we kind of write stuff together. It's quite good. I think it works.
It's brilliant. I mean, you just said it there. How many bands have got together in this way through lockdown? But what's brilliant is how many have carried on since it finished, and not just said, "Oh, well, it was a nice project during lockdown. Fuck it, we'll leave that there now." But actually, it's good how many of you have just kept going as well, and now reaping the benefits of actually being able to meet up and perform together and play together. It's great, to be honest. So I've listened to your EP, and you got a message from me telling me, and I'll use the phrase that I use for you. It's annoyingly catchy, and it is meant as a compliment, but it is annoyingly catchy. It's right up there. There's a guy I had on here going back probably 3 or 4 months, a guy called Jackson Lucet. I don't know if you've listened to any of his tunes. He does a song called Text Back Blues, which is possibly the most annoyingly catchy song ever. Yours is up there with it, so it's the highest compliment I can pay it. How has the EP gone down in general? Because it's wicked. I love it. I absolutely love it. How has it gone down in general?
Well, I think probably harking back to what Dunk said, like, we genuinely weren't sure if this would ever come to the point where we had a band together and we're playing these tunes, and it's really off the back of the response that kind of happened. When we fired it out, it was just it's because it had been sitting on my laptop for a year, so I was like, we should finish this and put it out there, because why not? And then just through kind of the Twitter community, I would say, as much as anything else, the Twitter community is just unbelievable. I mean, I think everybody that comes on this really probably says it, that's involved in it.
Literally,
it's genuinely something. I've been in bands for about 15 years, but up until this project, I'd never ever even known that there was a community like that going, and just that kind of selflessness with it, where everybody's just out to help each other and promote each other and support each other and get involved and spread the word, and just total respect, and that has been amazing. That's how we met a guy, Cammy, who runs Deliberator Records, and he got in touch after we released the EP and just said how much he loved it, and they had a label, and he was wanting to basically, just for the love of it, just basically help bands that he really liked and put some of their CDs out and things like that. And through that, we've kind of met loads of other people, Three Little Wolves and Arcade State and a whole bunch of others. And so yeah, to answer your question, I mean, the feedback's been amazing. We've actually just been nominated, which I still cannot actually believe. I think Duncan thought I was joking when I messaged him. We've just been nominated by The Weekender magazine for EP of the Year, which is, incredible.
Right.
I just think it's a bit mad that actual people have actually listened to it that aren't our wives or brothers. It's like, oh Christ, right? So more than just like the 20 people that I'm like close to, I've genuinely fucking listened to it and gone, that's not completely bollocks. Well done, lads. Excellent. Well, I'll take that.
When I started this up, I was exactly the same. It's like when people that you've never heard of come to you on Twitter and say, I really enjoyed that. That made me laugh. You're like, hang on a second, but I don't know who you are.
Totally. Well, I mean, yeah, it's like, and you always go, well, if you met me in real life, as me for speaking for me, if you met me in real life, you'd probably think I was a bit of a prick as well. I mean,
oh, brilliant.
There you go.
So that beautifully led me on. Your thing about the Twitter in music industry. You were part of the Mind Aid 2021 project. We had the guys on from Mind Aid last week on the show. What a fantastic thing that must have been to have been a part of. And just in the last 2 days, Robert Carlyle's pushed it out on Twitter. Midge Ure has pushed it out on Twitter. Big up to Midge Ure. I mean, how good was it to be part of that?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. Basically, I mean, you've already heard the story about how it came together with Jordan from Arcade State. Just as a joke kind of saying. But just like the rest of them, I kind of just came across it on Twitter, and I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds like a great thing to do, like a great thing to be a part of and to help out with. And the whole idea of it coming to mental health and stuff like that, that didn't really happen until we started actually looking at what was possible and how we could do this. And yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I think living in Glasgow, being brought up as a couple of guys in Glasgow, like the whole subject of mental health is something that it's not something that we've, well, personally speaking, we grew up with, like, being something that you spoke about.
No.
You know, it was never accepted. It was like, it was to be honest with you, in many cases it's still not accepted, but I think things are changing. And so to just be able to do something to help spread that kind of message has been amazing. And the feedback, the support has got, as you say, from guys like Bobby Carlyle and Midgear himself, has been pretty overwhelming, actually. I think I was just on our Mind Aid WhatsApp earlier, and chatting with everyone on it, and everybody's just kind of like, can't believe that it's had the response that it's had, and just kind of, yeah, it's been, without sounding too much a suit, it's been really heartwarming to see how that has touched different people, and without naming any names or anything like that, there has been a couple of people who have lost really close friends in the last kind of couple of weeks as a result of mental health, and I think that's brought even more to light how important this whole project has been. And long may it continue. You know, I think we've all said we hope it's just the start of a kind of community that can keep moving forward with these kind of messages. You know,
opportunities for that kind of thing are endless, because I mean, all the acts that are involved in that. I mean, you could put on different events and gigs and all sorts of stuff, and you know what I mean, it's not. I think it's definitely got legs to sort of keep running and do more good, hopefully. So.
Well, the one thing I'll say, if you do a gig, if he's watching, if he doesn't invite me to be compere of the show, that's it. Me and him are done. I mean, I didn't get invited onto the song. I couldn't believe that. But if I'm not invited to be compere of the show, that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
Finished. The people's in.
So having a little bit of fun then. So if you could collaborate, you can have one each as well. Collaborate with one musical artist. Who would you choose to collaborate with?
I'll let you go first, Dunk.
Fucking hell. That's a really hard question, that. I mean, if I was to say like the sort of like obvious sort of songwriters that I looked up to when I was a sort of early teenager, and that obviously you're talking like 90s, it's Noel Gallagher, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Later on, I probably wouldn't. I don't know. I'd either say I'd like to collaborate with either Robert Plant, that'd be amazing, and his. Well, can we go with him and his band, or is it just?
Yeah, no, you can have the whole band. If you want,
cool. Well, I'll have the band he's in just now, not the Alison, the Sensational Shapeshifter one band, and Robert Plant. Him or
I love seeing how this tears you up, Duncan.
It's just a bit. I mean,
wait to the follow-up question.
It's a really hard question, because I mean, there's so many good artists, but I'd probably say either that, or I'd like to be, even if I wasn't collaborating, if I could just be in the Wailers for maybe like a week and see if I could actually get through a week going with it. I mean, that'd be brilliant. I'd love that.
To be fair, Duncan, you pretty much were in the Wailers for a while. One of our earlier projects, Reidy, which was a few years ago, can't even remember when it was a one-off dub reggae band.
Yeah,
called, dub reggae band as well.
Dub reggae, yeah, called The Men from Del Monte, which to date recorded the greatest album never made. It was sensational.
It was Chris Akabushi. He was our number one fan.
Oh dear.
Honestly.
So,
Right.
Tom, who are you going for?
Well, I mean, I was trying to think of really cool answers. I was like, there are loads of people I'd love to like collaborate with nowadays, like
Shearer.
Shearer, exactly. Yeah. No. So my favourite band at the moment is Biffy Clyro. I'd love to collaborate with Biffy Clyro, but I've got to go with pretty much my favourite musician of all time, which is Prince.
Right. Okay.
He was basically the person I listened to throughout my kind of late teens and throughout my 20s right up to now. And I saw him perform a couple of times, but I saw him perform at the Hydro. And the gig itself was so bad. The sound was absolutely appalling. It was terrible. It was like being in a tin shed. But as a performer, I've never seen anybody perform like he did on stage. He's the best guitarist I've ever seen live. And I don't know, I just love the fact that you couldn't ever pigeonhole a guy like that. He literally just wrote a song in whatever style he felt like in that moment. You know, sometimes it sounds like flipping country music, other times it's like the most filthy funk you've ever heard. I just, I'd love to spend a bit of time. And also I want to ask him if all the stories about him are true.
The one question that everybody wants to ask him.
Yeah, I want to know, you know, did he play basketball in high heels, for example? You know?
So here's the catch. So you get the opportunity to collaborate with your artist. You play that one-off gig with them, but the next day you have to fold Silver Haar and never play music again. Do you take the opportunity to collaborate, or do you say, no, thanks, I want to carry on doing what I'm doing? I realise Prince is dead, but you have to presume he's alive for the benefit of the question.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Brogan to drag him out of his fucking grave. Hey, come on, mate. The guitar's good.
You'll be fine.
There's life in you yet. Come on.
I think I'd probably say that. Yeah, I'd be happy if I did that. I would drop it. Sorry, Brogan, but I would drop everything, mate.
No, don't worry, mate. I'd be exactly the same. I mean, you know, would you take the opportunity to have a prolonged career in the music industry, or go back to what you're doing? I think we both know what we take.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, going to play a gig with like Robert Plant and then coming back to write some songs in my shed. You know what I mean?
And congratulations, boys. You join Arcade State as the only people to say that's what you would do. The only ones. So
honestly, the best policy. We've always said it. Honestly, it's the best policy. Just say what you think. So
no, good, love it.
That is true. Duncan's very good at that. He regularly tells me that what I've sent him is utter shite.
Just like well, I do word it better than that, and I don't say it's utter shite. I mean, I'm always open to working on things. Always.
So, gents, we'll move on to your football then, and we'll start with you, Tom. Now, I'm going to resist the urge to call you Saudi Arabia. It is my new thing to call Newcastle Saudi Arabia, but I will resist the urge. So, obviously, massive take, probably the most talked about takeover in recent history, I would suggest. How are you feeling about the takeover, first off, and how are you feeling about the Eddie Howe appointment?
Yeah, I mean, probably the same as most Newcastle fans, man. Genuinely, the whole takeover thing and the money involved in it and all that side of thing was completely irrelevant. Just getting rid of Mike Ashley was what it's all about. Yeah. I mean, I wish I lived in Newcastle so as I could actually have gone to all of the celebrations. I don't know if you saw them on TV and places like that, but like it was literally like Sam Fender was playing like open air gigs for about 48 hours, pitched out his face, really? Just like Aye, it was great. He actually went on, I'm sure it was like this morning or something like that. Yeah, they interviewed him and he was like, I'm really sorry, I'm absolutely wrecked here. So fair play. Nah, I mean, it feels really good to be able to close that shitty chapter and just be like, that's gone. We don't need to deal with that. And actually today, it's really nice because they actually took the Sports Direct signs off of the stadium today.
I saw that.
They had it all posted. Aye, and they took a photo of them in the skip for all the Newcastle fans and posted it online, which is brilliant. Love it. But so that's. I mean, as obviously exciting to think that we might be able to attract somebody that could get a game in pretty much any other Premier League team, unlike all the players that we've currently got. But Eddie Howe, I personally think he's as good an appointment as we could have probably have made. I don't think there would be many people who will have been jumping at the chance to take a team that are bottom of the league with all the pressure that's involved, and particularly with the stature that's going on with the new owners and stuff. I think it's a bit of a poison chalice, and I think everything he's said so far has been pretty much on the money. He's very straight talking. He likes his exciting football. It's all basically score as many as you can, and hope they don't score as many as you. Which is it's the Kevin Keegan way. So we all love it. I think Newcastle fans are pretty pleased with how things are, despite the fact we're second bottom of the league now.
Think we'll stay up.
We've got a chance.
I heard some stat that was like only ever like one or two teams in your position at this stage in the season with your points tally have ever stayed up. It's like I'm pretty sure I heard that on the radio, and it was like, fuck, like oof.
I think no team had ever stayed up that had lost that hadn't won in 14 games, and I think we just won our 15th game.
I think you're right what you said. I think there is a massive pressure, and rightly or wrongly, all the other 19 teams want to see you get relegated now, because everyone else just thinks it'd be really funny if they got relegated with all these billions. Everyone so there is an added pressure that Newcastle probably didn't have before they took over, that suddenly everyone wants to beat them, because they want to help nail the coffin lid down, and it's going to make it. I feel for Howe, because up until January, he's got to work with the hand he's got, and he's got some hard. I mean, Jesus Christ! I mean, I thought Leeds' next 4 fixtures were tough, and then I seen your running over Christmas as well, and yours is up there with ours. It's brutal, and I think he's got to somehow keep in touch with that sort of 4th bottom place, which is it's just not going to be easy. It's just I think he'll do well to keep him up. I genuinely do. I think he's got a chance. He's definitely got a chance, and you've got more of a chance with him than Bruce. But I think it's going to be a real battle.
I think as well, like even all the money. I mean, all the money and stuff. I mean, see if they do go out and buy people in January. See if you're a player, and all right, they probably be able to offer you amazing wages and that kind of thing. But I mean, you'd be sitting there going, well, if I sign this and when you go down, I mean, you can always put a relegation clause in your contract and all that kind of thing. But you're be looking for players that actually. All these flair players and stuff, but you want players that will actually give a fuck as well. Players that will actually roll our sleeves up and go, right, we're in a fight here. Not like let's play some silky football and score some really nice goals. It's going to be like, let's grind this out till the end of the season, lads. You know what I mean? It's finding international players that want to come and do that rather than just be like slot into a Man City team, be like, great, well, that's fine. I'll come on for 20 minutes and do a wee bit of this, that, and that'll be happy days. You know what I mean?
It's a whole different ball game going to that, isn't it?
Aye, totally.
The positives I've seen is in the last 3 games that Howe's been in charge for, the actual visible change in some of the players and the way they're conducting themselves is massive. Just to use Joe Linton as an example, I mean, Joe Linton is literally the worst player I think that I'd ever thought had pulled on a Newcastle jersey until the last 3 games, where for me he's been man of the match every time. I mean, he looks, even seeing him talking in interviews, he looks like a different person. It's like he suddenly came alive. it's just amazing to see. So it gives you a wee bit of hope, you know.
The biggest difference I saw when the players were like walking onto the pitch is that they weren't smoking fags walking onto the pitch.
A wee Brunel.
What?
Oh dear. So Duncan, the mighty Jags of Partick Thistle. I'm gonna hit you with this question. So obviously they dropped down to League One.
Yeah.
They brought the prodigal son back, Ian McCall,
Mm-hmm.
who has guided them back into the top half of the Championship.
Yeah.
Are we looking at a possible return to the Premier League through the playoff route, maybe this season?
I think it's going to be hard. I mean, to be honest, there's a club record now of 8 clean sheets. We're unbeaten in the last, sort of like, I don't know, I can't remember if it's like 9 or 10 games. But yeah, I think through the playoffs is probably our best bet. But for instance, on Saturday there, we were playing bottom of the league and we drew nothing each. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's the whole sort of like, you just don't really know what team's going to turn up against you, as well as you for your own team. Like, it's any team in that league can beat any other team.
Yeah.
So it's although the league table's mental. I think before Saturday there was 2 points between 1st and 5th, and then between 5th and 6th there was 13 points. But then between 6th and bottom there was 3 points.
It's two proper leagues, isn't there?
It's like two proper leagues. But then again, we go and play bottom of the league and we draw nothing each for them. And all the other teams above us drop points as well. So it's a great opportunity and we completely fuck it up. So, it'll be interesting. I think there's a couple of players that are on loan that I think are maybe they could be leaving in January, but I think they'll try to basically show that up and try and get them tied in the end of the season.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I can't complain. It's when he first came in and took over the team after Gary Caldwell.
Yeah, Caldwell, wasn't it? Yeah.
He was
ex Newcastle defender, that.
Ex Celtic defender as well. He's an absolute rocket, by the way. That guy. Jeez. I've met him as well. I've met him a good few times, and I've been meaning to say to him, "What are you all about?" But I can't, so it's in a professional capacity in that. But yeah, when he took over the team, we were a shambles, and now we seem to be like, actually, we've got a bit of bollocks about us, and we're always that sort of like a soft Scottish team. But now, like, we've actually got players that will actually, like, I remember seeing them. I remember going to see Thistle in the 90s. My dad used to take me and Kev because it was free to take the kids, and we had players like Chick Charnley in midfield, who was an absolute bloody nut job, but an amazing player. But you knew if like, and he would be smoking fags at the side of the pitch. You know what I mean? Like that's a like, old school player. But you knew when he came on, or if he was playing, that we'll have a bit of bollocks today. Do you know what I mean? He'll be the one barking at everybody and making sure. So it's kind of got players like that now, and I think I'll be happy if we make the playoffs. I'll be happy with that, because I think winning the league outright is a tall order. Like, I think at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It's such a tight league that I mean, we could be saying in about fucking 4 weeks' time we could be doing it in a fucking relegation fight for all I know. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's Partick Thistle. It's like this. You know what I mean? But there we go. Aye.
Right, now I've got the brutal Zoom countdown clock, which is my favourite thing ever, just to tease you into giving shit. I've got 8 minutes and 35 seconds to squeeze all this in. So we're going to go straight to your five-a-side team, because I don't like to rush people through that. So
right, go.
The only rules are goalkeeper, defender, 2 midfielders, 1 striker. You have to have seen them play live, and because you're a band, it's 1 team between you all, not 1 team each, which always leads to great arguments between bands.
Well, I've already told Tom's already told me to stop sending him messages about it. So
let's go with your goalkeeper then, boys. Who are we going in goal?
Tom, on you go. Who do you think?
Well, I saw Scotland versus Italy a few years back, and Buffon was in goal.
Yeah.
And I mean, he is one of those goalkeepers that I don't think I ever saw him have a bad game, ever, like on television, any time. You know, so for me, Buffon is the best keeper I've ever seen live, without a shadow of a doubt. I've
seen Buffon as well, to be fair, and I would say that I mean, that is a good shot. I mean, I think he only got 1 Scotland cap, but Nicky Walker, that played for Partick Thistle in the mid-90s, he was some goalkeeper, by the way. But I think Buffon might just be better than him.
Just edged out by Buffon.
Aye, just.
Right. Let's go with your. That's a good starting point, gents. I have to say. Let's go with your defender then.
Right. Well, I've seen it. I went to Scotland against Holland at Hampden in 1994, and in the central defence they had Frank de Boer and Frank Rijkaard. So I'm going to put either of them up for it, but I don't know what defenders you've seen.
I think that beats them all, to be honest. I did see France versus Scotland when you had Desailly and Frank Leboeuf playing as a two, and they were unbelievable in their day. But yeah, I think Rijkaard's a good shout because he was a mad bastard as well.
Well, exactly. And in a five-a-side team, you always want a mad battle. You always want someone the other team think, well, he's going to kick my head in, so let's not tackle him. You know what I mean?
He'd be stubbing tabs out at the side on people's backs. Do you know what I mean?
Right, Frank Rijkaard is. In fact, there's another one that came on, when did they? Okay, a long time ago, a band called Lost Lines, and they picked a team of bastards. They decided they were going to pick a whole team, and they had Duncan Ferguson up front, unsurprisingly.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he was a mad bastard.
Yes. Yeah. Let's go with the first of your midfielders then, gents.
I'm going to say Pirlo again for Italy. Absolutely mind-blowingly good. I mean, I think we got beaten like 2-0, which is actually pretty good for Scotland. Yeah. But both goals came from Pirlo.
I mean, it's basically a win, isn't it?
Yeah. It's basically as good as a win. That's it. The other guy I did see was Ronaldinho for Barcelona, and I know he's possibly more attacking, but usually played attacking mid. And again, I mean, he was just like in a whole other league to anybody else on the pitch that day. You know. What have you done?
I mean, same kind of thing. I saw Mark Overmars, and he's like a winger, but in a five-a-side team, might be quite handy to have. Like, he was some player, man. Like,
he was incredible.
He had jet heels, didn't he? The boy was quick.
He was quick, and in a five-a-side pitch, that's always going to. I mean, especially when people just like basically horsing it off the bloody walls. You know what I mean? Somebody can actually get the ball quickly. Quite good. But I think I don't know. I saw AC Milan play Celtic. Oh, I don't know how many years ago that would have been. And in midfield, no, I was going to say
Pirlo.
It was Pirlo as well. And I just remember sitting next to our brother Kev, the other guitarist in the band, and both of us just basically watching his movement and just like it's like the guy was in bloody slow motion. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just like that. There was no rush about anything.
Didn't need to, did he? Too good.
Too
so
good.
We're going Pirlo and Overmars.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Aye, but this is when it gets sticky.
Right, let's go. We've got 3 minutes 47, so we'll dedicate 2 minutes to your argument about your striker.
Right. It's not going to be Alan Shearer, let's put it that way. Put it this way, right? Put it this way. Here's my argument for not Alan Shearer, right, Tomo? Just hear me out here. Alan Shearer was good at scoring goals, right? That's fine. But he was very good at scoring goals with his head. Now, depending on what the rules are in this game of five-a-sides, the ball can't go above head height.
Good point.
So, I think he's fucking useless, right?
Duncan, you clearly need to go and watch a few of Shearer's goals then, mate.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm just saying that we don't need anyone that's good in the air.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I think I saw Henrik Larsson and Dennis Bergkamp, and I mean, I would take Dennis Bergkamp just for that goal that he scored against Newcastle, where he turned Nikos Dabi's ass on a sixpence, and like I've never seen a goal like it. You know what I mean? That was totally unique. He was incredible, that player. I saw Francesco Totti as well. I actually saw him maybe like 5 years ago when he's one of his second last seasons when he played for Roma in Rome, and even though he was like maybe 55 at the time, it was still, he came on for the last 20 minutes and it was just like, it was unbelievable, unbelievable. And he's a big lad. Jesus Christ, man! Like he was a brick shithouse. You know what I mean? Like fucking a total monster as well. So, but I don't know. I think obviously Bergkamp was better than him, but I would be happy with Bergkamp.
Are we going Bergkamp?
Let's go Bergkamp then.
Sorry, Brogan.
It's fine.
No, it's not.
Boys, that's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this immensely. I do know you've got a new single coming out very, very quickly. When is the new single due out?
So it's due out on 20th of December, all major platforms, and there's a wee music video to go with it as well.
Spot on. You've been great fun, gents. I've enjoyed your time tonight. Coming up, there's a little video clip of the boys in action. So Silver Heart from me, Reidy, thank you so much for coming on, gents. And it's back to the show.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Shaking up, 'cause you and I have got stories to tell. When we break it out and take it out, 'cause everybody's got something to say. But you're never gonna leave it, and you're never gonna tell me otherwise. You know, I know it's true.
There we go, lad. They were good lads, weren't they? Very, very funny lads. So next week we will be joined by another band. We're going to join by a couple of the lads from the Mariners on Zooming In next week. So look out for that. That's the Mariners on Zooming In next week. If you missed the name of the band that's just been on, it was Silver Haar, which is Haar. Go and look them up on your Spotify's, etc. and download their tunes because they were good lads and we liked them. There we go. Anyway, here he is. Mask has gone. All right, Ted, how are we? Reidy, what's with that giant sign? Do you like it, Ted? Little addition to the background for the show? I mean, it's bigger than you, Reidy. That's kind of the point, Ted, so that people can actually see it. They can't bloody miss it. Anyway, at least it'll distract people from the curtain pole situation. This is a very good point. Good evening, Fitzy Gooner. Ted, have we got any nominations this week anyway? Because it's every week it's just been a winner. Have we got any nominations for the Little Knob of the Week this week? 2 or 3 people have come to the table, Reidy. Finally, good to see they're ramping it up. Who have we got then, Ted? Give us your first one. Well, first up, we had Jude Bellingham, who decided to slaughter the referee in his post-match comments, bringing up the fact that he used to be a match fixer back in the day, and that perhaps that's what he was doing in this game between them and Bayern Munich. I mean, Ted, I like a bit of honesty from a player, but God, you've got to be a little bit careful. I mean, how much money has Jude Bellingham got? He can afford to pay them fines. I know, almost the little knob, but not quite. Okay, so who else? The Leeds fan, an adult, I hasten to add, who ran on the pitch and asked for Bamford's shirt at the end of the game. Yeah, I can't disagree. I mean, he got Bamford's shirt at the end of the game, but he's probably also got himself a lifetime ban. Now, if it was a child, you could kind of understand it. This was a fully grown man. I agree, Ted. He's very close to winning it, but he hasn't won it, has he? No, Reidy, he has not. Who has won it? Do you want to know who's won it? I do want to know who has won it. Well, Reidy, it's another Premier League manager, and this weekend we head to the South Coast. Oh, South Coast. Who we got then, Ted? None other than Mr. Ralph Hasenhüttl. Easy for you to say, Ted. You're not wrong. It's a difficult name. It is. So, Ted, is it to do with the Alex McCarthy comments? The very one, Reidy, the very one. Yeah, so in case you missed this, during Saturday's game, Southampton v Brighton, Alex McCarthy picked up a hamstring injury, the Southampton goalkeeper, and was clearly struggling because he was getting someone else to take the goal kicks. Anyway, the game panned out. Brighton grabbed the last-minute equaliser, and it's fair to say Big Ralph wasn't happy. He hit out at McCarthy, saying, check the quotes, don't want in trouble for misquoting Big Ralph, "Alex must be more professional, and this is something I missed today and we cannot accept. I still had one change in hand and can change the goalkeeper if necessary. If he is not able to jump, then we should change him." Now, I have a little bit of an issue with this, him calling out Alex McCarthy. So, if he couldn't take his goal kicks, was it not obvious that he couldn't jump? And did a physio not notice? Or the goalie coach not think to maybe check with him? I mean, does anybody ask if he was okay? I'm with you on this one, Ted. So this week's winner of Ted's Little Knob of the Week, and there is the Little Knob of the Week, is none other than Southampton manager, Mr. Ralph Hasenhüttl. Feeling brave this week, Reidy? He's bigger than Dyche. I'm aware of this, Ted, which is why I made sure he knew it was your Little Knob of the Week. Anyway, are you back for How Old the Reveal? Oh yes, Reidy, another week of some old fella and me trying to guess his age. It's what my weeks were made for. Brilliant, Ted. We'll see you later then. Okay, after all those fun and games, I think it's probably time we did a little bit of this one.
Look-alike-y.
Yes, look-alike EE, where we find you a footballer and someone else in the world making their name in some other market or industry. And this week, we head into the world of the Premier League and a man who made a record transfer in the summer, no less. And incredibly, we found a Hollywood star who looks just like him. So, this week's
Look-alike-y.
Yes, there we go. Jack Grealish and Keira Knightley when she played Jules in Bend It Like Beckham. I mean, come on, that is a good one. Admit that that was a good one. It's an absolute belter. Let's have another look at it again. It's that good. There you go. Perfect. Anyway, time for another little musical interlude as we go and find out Kian's choice of song for this week as we head on over for another segment of Kian Says, Listen Up.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Kian Says Listen Up, where I'll give you a song to listen to from this week, sometimes not from this week, sometimes from a while ago. This one's from this week. But if you watched the episode last Saturday, you would have already heard about the song. You know, there was a few of the artists that were on the show last Saturday. It's the Mind Aid song. It's like the old Band-Aid, but it's like about mental health instead of like hunger and that. And it's got an important message behind it. So go over and listen to it. It's got good lyrics and it's definitely worth a listen. And you can go and donate on the Twitter page. Just search Mind Aid and you'll find it. So yeah, Mind Aid song. I don't know if it's on Spotify. I don't think it is. I know it's on YouTube, so search it on YouTube. They've got it on their Twitter anyway. You'll find it on the Beat the First Man page. So yeah, Mind Aid Special. That is the song for this week. Cheers.
There we go then, a brilliant choice for so many reasons. Genuinely, if you have not listened to the song, check it out on YouTube. It's amazing. The words will come up on the YouTube video. Listen to the song, look at the words, soak it all in. If you don't get a lump in your throat, clearly you're made of iron. It's just powerful, emotional stuff. And for such a brilliant cause as well. If you can make a donation, please do. If you can't, just take the message on board, just soak it up and go and phone one of your friends. That's it. If you can't make the donation, go and do that. Anyway, the Lineal European Cups, and it's fair to say the goals were a-flowing this weekend. We have new Lineal European Cup holders. So our previous holders, Augsburg, were entertaining Bochum on Saturday, and it was the visitors Bochum who raced into a 3-0 lead at half-time. Now, the boys from Augsburg clearly wanted to retain that trophy because they did get it back to 3-2, but Bochum managed to hold out and they became the new holders of the trophy. Difficult start for them though, as life as the new European Cup holders, because they entertain Borussia Dortmund, not to be confused with Borussia Teeth, who we had on earlier. In the Lineal UEFA Cup, the boys from Bayer Leverkusen, well, they made very, very short work of Greuther Fürth. They were not giving up that trophy. They won 7-1 with Patrick Schick helping himself to 4 goals, no less. So it's an opportunity on Thursday, though. When you're watching this, this comes out Thursday night. They're playing on Thursday night. The Cup could change countries. They travel to Ferencváros as they look to try and bring the company back to Germany, or will it stay in Hungary with Ferencváros? Watch this space. So the bear is back. Where were you? I was just the same place you left me, Reidy. I didn't leave you. You must have walked off. Anyway, so here he is back once again like a renegade master. Jesus Christ, Reidy. I'm not being funny. No one's going to know that gag. The 80s and 90s children will, Ted. The 80s and 90s children. Never forget where your roots. Oh, yeah, the mean streets of Whitney. Tough upbringing there, Ted, I can tell you. Anyway, enough of this nonsense. No, it's time for your nonsense of guessing the age of some footballer. Rude. Have you got a sensible guess for us this week anyway? What is even the point? A bit of fun, Ted? Bit of a laugh? Do you see anybody laughing? 27, Reidy. Get on with it. I'm bored. Very rude, Ted. Anyway, 27. Well, let's see if you're right. So when this photo of Jim Shearer was taken, he was 29 years old. 29. Was he shite, Reidy? I mean, does he live in the mountains and walk to work every day? Sorry, Ted, he was 29. You got it wrong. Joke. Right, I'm off now. See you next week. Goodbye. Oh, okay. See you later, Ted. There it is then, people. Another show is over. I'm afraid that is it for another week. If you did enjoy the show and you were new on board the BTFM bus, please make sure you click that subscribe down below and join us again next week. We'd love having you with us. Drop us the likes, leave us your comments. But for now, as always, if you're all on board the BTFM bus, ding ding, next stop will be Thursday the 16th of December for what will be episode 68. But as always, people, stay safe.